Steven, I'm on a game drive right now. I can't talk. We just saw some giraffes. They're tall. Then we saw some lions in the bush. And then we saw some dong. I'll tell you more about the dong on the show.
Hey, Steven, good news.
Hello. What's the news?
I have good news. You're supposed to say, what's the news, Jared?
What's the news, Jared?
I didn't get eaten by a lion yet.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, no, we saw a bunch of lions today. I'm here in Africa. Sorry, people keep correcting me. I'm in Kenya, which is in the continent of Africa.
I mean, technically you're in Africa, though.
Well, yeah, I mean, in the whole... but you don't say, like, I'm in North America. That's why someone corrected me. Like, you sound like a douchebag when you say that you're in Africa.
Well, I think a lot of people say
Kenya.
They're in the States or something like that, if they're overseas.
I guess. I've got a bunch of notes to talk about. It's currently 7:07 on my Apple Watch Ultra.
Ooh, new watch. Look at me.
New watch. Look at me. Look at me.
New watch. Who dis?
Steven, do my arms still look good?
I can definitely tell you haven't been to the gym, for sure.
You fucking shut up right now. You shut your mouth.
It's like a 15-inch diameter now instead of 16.
15? These are 16 and a half pythons. You don't mess with these pythons because I've been training to beat off many of elephants. Speaking of many of elephants beating off, holy shit. You should have seen the dong on, was it Pascal? Yeah, my other photographer people are behind me. Yeah, Pascal.
Much bigger than what you're used to, right?
Yeah, much bigger than what I'm used to. This thing looked like it wasn't circumcised. He definitely isn't Jewish. Pascal is not Jewish. The Moyle would have a hard time chopping him. He would need like a weed whacker or a big guillotine to snap. Dude, the size of their dongs are unbelievable. I mean, we're talking massive girth. We're talking massive length.
Are we talking like a foot longer, like a nice Subway sandwich, or way bigger?
Foot long. Guys, would you put it at like 4 feet long?
4 feet?
Longer. 6 feet long. 6 feet long dong.
Right,
they should be calling them long dong
boy?
silver. The diameter was like a basketball. And you should see when these things pee. It's like they're releasing the crack in a fire hydrant.
Fire hose.
It is. It's like fire hosing, and then they're taking dumps at the same time.
Oh man.
It's insane how
is
big.
Is it like the dump from Jurassic Park?
No, it's not as big as the Jurassic Park dump. But no, I've never seen a dong this big. I mean, I'm sorry. I've seen a dong this big when I turn off the lights.
I just look down every day.
No, I mean, it's like longer than my arm. It's like the size of my leg.
Nice little elephant trunk.
Dude, I've been hoping to see an elephant go at another elephant because I want to see how much it ejaculates. I hear that it's a high percentage. Did you guys get it in gallons? No,
not yet. It's still working.
We're still research team behind me is researching the amount of semen that a big tusker elephant. So there's only 25 of these elephants left in the world. They get these big tusks, and like when they're 50 years old, these tusks are dragging on the ground and stuff. And so everybody gets out of the way of these guys. There's so many elephants here. We've seen so many elephants.
Anyway, so you're in Kenya.
Yeah, I'm in Kenya.
It's just mind-blowing.
Don't get us off topic, Steven. Why do you have to bring up dong every time we have an episode?
It's just mind-blowing that we can do this, though, in real time with almost zero latency.
Well, yeah. I mean, I have Wi-Fi. I have LTE over here, and you know we're connected and all of that stuff. Can I?
Just enough, yeah.
Yeah. Can I talk about my flight?
Sure. Talk about everything.
I flew business, and I was nice and rested the whole time.
Oh, look at me, first class.
Yeah, dude, you should have seen the meal on the first flight. I asked for seconds of tomato and burrata. It was incredible.
Did they give you seconds?
They were out of it, but I got two. I got two entrees. One was a salmon, and then the other was this thing they called beef. It wasn't. I didn't even eat it. It was terrible looking. But I'm sure the guys behind me would have enjoyed it when they were sitting back in steerage.
Peasants.
Steven told me to point at you and laugh. He really didn't. I just made that up. No, it was nice to. I did get some good sleep up there. And then on the connecting flight, 8.5 hours to Kenya was all right. We took off like an hour and 20 minutes late because I think some guy forgot to eat and took medicine and was like dying on the back. And
that's scary.
They took him off the plane. And so an hour and 20 minutes later, we do take off and fly. And I got a bunch of sleep in.
Reminds me of that time that I had a massive nosebleed on a plane. Thought I was going to die then.
Well, that's why I started carrying tissues every time we travel, just in case Steven has another nosebleed. I should start carrying tampons so you can shove one of those up your nose.
That would have been helpful for sure.
For your face vagina.
So overall, how long did it take you, time-wise, from leaving here to get to where you're at now?
Well, my flight out of Philly was 6:30 p.m.
Okay.
And by the time we got to Kenya, it was like 10 o'clock at night in Kenya time.
You're 6 or 8 hours
8
ahead.
hours,
Okay.
7 or 8 hours. I mean, it was like 18 hours of travel.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad. I mean, you know, when you're laying flat up in the biznatch, it's not terrible.
When you got your own little private bed up in first class.
It wasn't first class. It's business class. I went to try, you know, Matt behind me was telling
class, air quotes.
He was from in the back of the plane texting me before we took off. He's like, well, the good news is you can get free Wi-Fi. So I go to log into the free Wi-Fi only an hour out, you know, before we land. Cause I actually really don't watch anything. I just want to relax and be disconnected. So I figured, this is like the last hour I'll connect, and I go to connect and it's not letting me connect. I'm putting in my seat and my number, and I go up to the front. I ask the flight attendant lady, and she's like, that's only for first class. I'm like, well, what am I? She's like, a loser. You're in business.
Business class.
Yeah, you don't rate free internet. It's $18. And I was like, that's okay. I don't need it. We were just watching lions. There was 2 male lions in the grass, and there was how many cubs? 5, 6? 5 cubs. The one cub stalked the father and bit him in the ass. Oh, that was cool. Then we have some nice stuff of the father and the cub rubbing heads, and then the father like biting the kid's head. The problem was the Canon did not get me the 200 to 800. So I'm with a 400, and I might have to put a pause on the no cropping for a minute just for the Instagram, you know, to make myself look cool. Yeah,
you guys heard it here first. You heard it here.
It's not me.
Breaking news.
Yo, the Northrops would love this trip, by the way. They've been mentioned many times as I've been shooting birds.
Jared Polin is now a cropper and shoots in JPEG with the, what are you shooting with, the A9 III, right?
No, I'm shooting with the R3 most of the time.
I know, but you've shot JPEG too on this trip.
I did, but I also shot RAW with the A9 III. But I'm saying that it's Canon's fault that I need to try and replicate what 800 would be, so it's not really my fault. I want to maybe put a pause on it because I want to show it to the gram, and I'll make sure to mark it that these are cropped in. The guys behind me don't give a shit about cropping. They're like all over crop. They're like the Croptastic 4.
99% of people don't give a shit about cropping.
Yeah, but I'm just upset that Canon didn't get it because it would have been good in many situations. But it's been a good challenge. 100 to 300, 400 2.8. Today I hung an 85 1.2 out of the vehicle on a monopod on the R3 using the wireless connect via Wi-Fi to hold the. This is Matt. Matt did this the other day. He brought a wireless remote because he was here before, and he's like, "It's good if you hang it low because you can't get out of the vehicle." Right? You're not allowed out of the vehicle, so you're up high already. And so if you shoot normal, you're shooting like a moron on the sidelines, shooting their kids while standing, it doesn't look as good. So if you can get a lower angle, it can look better. So I was anti that, and then I was like, I'm going to try that today. I'm going to challenge myself. And I got the Wi-Fi set up on the thing, much easier on the R3 with the Canon Connect app. And we had a chance. We saw Pascal right off the bat, and Mount Kilimanjaro was visible today. We were told that it hasn't been visible for a week from the ground. And so the idea was you get Mount Kilimanjaro in the background and Big Tusker Pascal in the foreground. And Matt got a really cool one of it. I got something that was good and then didn't realize I got one similar to Matt, except my composition isn't as good. I posted it on Instagram, and I couldn't see on the phone, which is my viewfinder, right? When you're using the Canon Connect app and holding the camera like 4 feet below the end of the vehicle, so it's tilted down with one arm. I couldn't see the Kilimanjaro was there. Now it's in the corner, so it's good. It would have been even better if I did shift it, but I'm still happy with it. You know, it's one of those photos that I dreamed of my entire life, like Matt. No, Matt goes, he's like, Matt's here, by the way, for anybody listening, he's behind me. But he's like, you know, this is the one photo I envisioned getting. I'm like, yeah, me too. No, I didn't envision, I just did it. You know why? I'm that good, Steven. I'm that good.
You don't see pictures in your mind, Jared?
I see pictures in my mind. No, Matt was like, you know, Kilimanjaro's there. And so then obviously as good photographers know what to do.
Is he the one that took the other shot of Kilimanjaro and the elephant?
Yeah, I shared that on my story today. It's the other shot with
way better than your photo. Way better.
Steven says it's way better. Way better. It's a very good shot. Did it with the 135 1.8 on the Sony A1.
How is it using the Imaging Edge app these days?
I don't think he's using the Imaging Edge app. He's just using a wireless remote that you can autofocus and then trigger. I actually liked using the Canon Connect app. Unfortunately, it didn't record the 30 minutes of time that we were chasing Pascal. Because look, it's a dance. You're in this vehicle, this big vehicle. We're all in it. It's got multiple rows and the sides are off. But as the elephant is moving, you have to make the decision: can we move the vehicle? But if there's 6 other vehicles around, you have to jimmy around them to try and get the angle that you want. And fortunately, we did get the good angles.
Is there that many other vehicles at the same time? It's not just your camp.
No, let me explain. We're actually in the park. We were supposed to be in a conservancy. The problem is they had major rains and the roads getting into the conservancy were closed, so we couldn't get in there. Now, when you're in a conservancy, Matt just told me before this that there's a 5-car limit on a scene, and then the rest have to move out. But usually when you're there, what's good about a conservancy is you can get off-road. So if you see a big tusker having sex and his dong is out, you could drive up closer and get the money shot.
Nice.
Well, you have to stay on the park roads here to get the shot. And it's fine because tomorrow we fly out to another place, small landing strip. It's fun. The plane we had was just for us because we paid extra. People always ask about gear. We all bought a second seat for luggage or whatever, so we could get our gear on the plane. And so that takes up a seat for each of us. And it's basically a plane can fit 12 or so people. And it's just the 5 of us.
And for those that haven't watched, the video about what gear you brought to Africa and why should be out by the time this podcast is out. It should be out. Yes.
Oh, is it good? Have you edited it yet?
Yeah, it was a little tough because we just did a run and gun single camera chasing you around, and there's definitely a lot of missed focus angles that I had to clean up, but it came out fine in the end.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. I probably didn't need as many clothes because I could wear an I Shoot Raw shirt for like 3 days, by the way. Don't tell the guys behind me. I haven't changed the shirt. I did. I changed the shirt the other day.
And in that video, you showcased that you brought like 7 of the same purple I Shoot Raw shirts.
I brought 12 of them, actually.
I don't
really need that many. I don't need that many. I probably didn't need to bring as much protein as I did. The food's been okay. It's not like eating at home, but it's also not terrible.
So how many photo opportunities are you getting while you're out on these excursions? Like, are you just taking a few photos here and there? Are you there for 8 hours straight? Like, how long are you out there for? How many photo opportunities do you get?
Well, we left at 6 a.m. today.
Okay.
And because that's when the park opens and sunrise happens. So our guides drive us out. We looked for the big tusker elephant. We wanted to try and get the sun going up. I didn't get anything good there. I believe Matt got a good shot with the big sun in front of the elephant. But really, you go with an idea. There's elephants. We saw giraffes today for the first time. We didn't see those in the first 2 days. There's lions. There's cheetahs. We saw a cheetah getting chased by 2 lions yesterday. Wow. But really, you go out looking for things.
Sure.
So you go, and they also are radioing to other people, other guides in the park who say, have you seen this? Have you seen that? And so that's the plan.
So you kind of have a heads up of what you're about to shoot as you're driving up. Like the vans in front are kind of like, hey, we got this big tusker coming up. Blah, blah, blah.
No, like everybody wants something different, but we were searching for the elephants, and then we got these lions. There were 5 cubs and 2 lionesses, and they were walking towards us, and then they walked across the street, the road. But it's a little difficult because sometimes that lighting is too harsh if you're on the wrong side of the light.
Sure.
And so you can't, move every vehicle right away to get to the other side of the light. And so that plays a big part in things.
And you said that you wish you had the 200 to 800. Are you saying that 400 is just not nearly as long as you had hoped?
Well, no, I mean, yes, I would have liked the 200 to 800 for certain situations like we just came up on with the sleeping lions in the grass and then the cubs jumping on the dad lion and then the lion, playing and they're nuzzling heads. You'll see when I crop the images, like what it would be better with an 800. But now the 800 would be at f9, but I would still make it work. And I honestly think no one's going to know the difference between the 400 and the 200 to 800, especially on Instagram.
Well, and especially if you're all the way out at 800.
Yeah, well, no one has the 800, right? That's the thing, is no one has it unless you've got like an 800 6.3 from Nikon.
So what's the longest lens you guys have? Is the 600 f4 from Sony? Do you have that?
No one has a 600 f4, but there's 2 to 600s, and then a couple of guys are using converters to bang in a little bit more. And then if they're shooting A1s, they can bang in and do a in-camera crop and then do a post-crop as well.
Like
so that gets you right up in there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they're doing both.
Do you wish you had something like an R1 that was 50 megapixels or something like that where you can crop in?
I said that at the end of the ride today. I'm like, I really wish I had an R1. Now, I just wish I had the 200 to 800. What happened is Canon Japan, I guess, didn't get it to the US quick enough. I don't even know if it's come in yet. I did get the 24 to 105.
So how's that?
The 200 to 800, it's fine. It's fine. I used it very early on when one of the first things we shot was an elephant right on the side of the road, and I used it at 24 millimeters. Strong vignette, but that's because the image, the lens correction the lens profile isn't there yet.
I wonder if you slapped on the 24 to 105 f4 lens correction, if that would kind of fix all that. Yeah,
probably. But the 200 to 800 would come in handy when things are just too out of reach and they're just sitting in the grass and you can't get any closer. Now the 400's fine, and for people that crop, that's fine. But the 200 to 800, even at f9, you would still make it work. I mean, I was at 2.8, so my settings were, I was at like 1/1000th of a second at 2.8 at, I don't know, 2000 ISO. You could still do it. I could drop my shutter speed to 1/400th of a second and be at f9 at 2000 ISO and still make it work. But there's no saying how the quality would look. You would just have to get it back in the computer to see, but we don't have it for this trip. But the 400's been great, and sometimes it's too long. Other times the 100 to 300 is very versatile. But what I learned on the first couple of days is I was just out there taking pictures, right? Filling the frame, super tight. It's the stuff that I talk about, not really.
It's all about the environment. Yeah.
It is, but sometimes you can't get a good environment and you just fill the frame with it.
Sure.
So one thing that is important, I think, is breaking out those primes. The better glass, the same thing. Matt's breaking out the 135 1.8. The other guy, Jason, has a 135 Sigma 1.8. The other guy has a 24 millimeter. Nick has a, what do you got, a 500 5.6? Yeah, he's got a 500 5.6. He's still, we have me, I'm Canon, then we have 3 Sony shooters, and then 1 Nikon Z9 shooter who's teetering on the edge of dumping it all.
Really?
Well, yeah, because he's got an adapted glass. No, he's dumping it. He's got to dump it. He's going to make a decision. He's got to dump it. No one wants to shoot Nikon. Like, you're trying to shoot an animal that's not even moving, and the autofocus box is doing the same thing that we've always said that it does.
Sure.
Is it just jerks itself off and around every single second. It's bouncing around.
At the same time, they have some solid lens choices for this kind of trip. That 600 6.3, the 400 4.5, like the more inexpensive, longer glass.
They do.
180 to 600.
Yeah, 180 to 600 would be good, very good out here. But I still think, better glass, 28 to 70 f2, if you can get close enough. I'm being told that in the conservancies where we're going to next, you can drive up much closer because you can get off-road and you can just get up to the animals and get what you need.
You think you'll probably be using the 28 to 70 f2 more often, the 135. I guess you're using the 100 to 300 now for the most part?
Well, I'm using the 100 to 300. I didn't bring it out today at all. I left it in the room.
Okay.
I left it in the room because my focus, I needed to focus. I needed to focus on putting the camera on the stick and putting it to the ground and doing the 85 1.2, right? And just finding the different angles and not just shooting pictures.
Is there any action going on that you're capturing, or is it more just animals in the wild eating,
It's animals in the wild. Right now, we're not getting... I mean, the biggest action we saw today, speaking of animals in the wild, was a baboon licking another baboon's ass.
Oh, nice.
It's a good photo. Oh, the other day, one of the baby baboons was reaching between the other baboon's legs and stroking it.
Oh, okay.
He's just like, oh, what's this thing? So that's what we said. Those baboons, man.
Little flick.
Oh no, he was 2-finger stroking it.
He was going to town,
and then he moved on. But yeah, no, we come out and all you see is like one baboon face deep in the ass of another baboon that's bent over a log. And I will share that picture. I won't tag the photographer as they requested not to be. I was doing iPhone video, but it was great because he's like bent over or there. I don't know. I don't know their pronouns. I didn't ask the fucking baboons' pronouns, Steven. I don't know what they go by here.
That's Mr. Baboon to
Nairobi.
you. It's all about eat, sleep, and sex there.
Yeah, eat, sleep, and sex is about it. And the pronouns, I don't think it matters. I don't think they care which way they go.
How dare you
Face
assume,
deep, man?
How dare you?
I didn't assume that it was a male. I don't know. Was it a male or a female? I couldn't.
You're assuming they don't care.
No, they don't care. You should see they raise a flag every night that's a rainbow. Outside the baboon like where the baboons are living, they put up a rainbow flag and they're like, all are welcome. What's that, Nancy? We're canceled? We're canceled? Is that what you're saying? No, I'd only get canceled if I said there was a trans flag. No, see, it's equal opportunity. It's all flags matter. Shit, I can't say that either.
Teetering on that edge, my friend.
I'm in Africa. It's okay. I'm in Africa. I can say that. There is a nice work of art on the wall right now. But
good to know because I cannot see it at all.
No, that's true. No, the 180 to the 100 to 300 is good. There's also, we got to shoot flamingos flying today. I didn't have the A9 III for that to do the pre-shooting, which would have come in handy when this one bird was sticking its face into the water to get a thing, to get eating, and it would have been good to get the pre-shot done because you would have been able to go back and get it.
So the A9 III, have you used it a lot on this trip?
I did. I shot that elephant, the two elephants greeting each other.
So these are edited JPEGs, I assume, right?
Edited
you can't open
JPEGs.
the RAW file yet? Okay.
The autofocus is better than the A1. It's not as good as the R3 in my opinion, but it's better than the A1. So they've done good with it, that it finds the eye from much further. Now, what I notice is with the Canon, you don't have a bird detection. You just have animal detection. I didn't see that option unless I have it off for some reason.
With Canons, though, I thought animal kind of covered everything from insects to birds to general animals and mammals.
You should see the box. It just grabs it. Like it just grabs a small bird at a distance, the Canon.
But at the same time, with Sony, you can really get in there and go deep in their animal tracking settings or just for bird or whatever it may be. And you can specify you really want it to lock on that subject or the opposite. That's what I like about Sony. There's so much customization, which speaking of that, I think you changed all those settings back the way I had them, right?
I did. I changed the settings to how you suggested I use them.
And that you fought me on them and you're like, no, this is not how I shoot. I'm like, this is how you shoot though, with the Canon.
Yeah, well, I do, but the button's in a different place. But I made it work. Yeah. I made it work. So, I'll break out the A9 III for more stuff. I'm putting it on the 300. Actually, I used it with the 400 2.8 Sony to get the elephants. And if I knew we were going to go photograph birds, I think I did know. I just didn't think about it. I used the R3 for the birds today, but it would have been a really good test. We don't even need it. It doesn't matter. It's still 0.9 firmware.
With the A9, which I think it was 0.8 when we were at the event.
Yeah.
With the A9 III, are you having any issues since it is a base ISO of 250 and you're shooting in broad daylight at like say a 1.8 prime? Do you have any exposure issues?
Even at 2.8. So 400 2.8 photographing flamingos yesterday, I was at 250 ISO at 1/16,000th of a second at 2.8, which is maxed out. But then I was told by one of the Sony guys that it will go up to, in March, there will be a firmware that goes up to 1/80,000th of a second with full autofocus.
Yeah, they told us that at the event, that there will be a future firmware update. It's only 1/16,000th if you're in continuous autofocus, correct?
Right now. But in the future, you'll be able to, it's not going to be an issue.
Yeah.
Because you'll go up to 1/80,000th with full shooting capabilities and full autofocus. But the thing is, who's going to spend $6,000? If someone already has an A1, they're not upgrading to this. They don't need it. You get a couple of features.
You said you're with a lot of A1 shooters right now. How do they feel? Are they planning on upgrading or just keeping the A1?
They're not switching. It's not an upgrade. They're going to keep the A1. They want A1-2s. Everybody wants an A1-2 with this stuff.
The A1 is the flagship. So like you said, it's not upgrading. It's almost downgrading.
Well, it's more expensive. If it was a $4,500 body, I think they'd add them as a second one or as a remote camera or just something.
So they prefer the resolution more than the global shutter.
Oh, they want the resolution, yeah, because these guys, they crop a lot.
King croppers.
They crop a lot.
I can't believe you're in the same room as croppers. I don't even know you anymore. I don't even know you.
No, I know. There's these croppers behind here. It's insane. I got a room with croppers.
Shame.
Steven says shame, guys. Steven says shame.
I don't give a shit at all. I crap all the time.
Hey, I didn't tell you what happened to my cat.
No, what happened?
Nothing bad.
Oh,
Kitty went home with
scared
my
me.
friend. She went to my friend's house. She took him to the country.
With the dog?
She has 2 dogs. Yeah,
Oh.
but they're getting along really well. And Kitty's just like sitting in the window, and the doggy's there, and they're just having a good old time.
Where's Papa? Where's my daddy?
No, I think he's just having a good time. So she had to drive him an hour and a half, right, to where she lives.
Sure.
And once she put him in the front seat after she dropped me off at the airport, she dropped me off at the airport. You know it's real if they're dropping you off at the airport. And when I
Sounds
say
legit.
there, I mean her. Yeah, she dropped me at the airport. That's right. But then she drove, back to her place, and when she moved Kitty to the front, Kitty could see her, and Kitty went to sleep in the car. So Kitty's good.
So I guess she's still on track to come to our holiday dinner.
Yeah. Did we hear from Dan on anything? Dan's only invited with one guest. One guest. Not multiple guests.
Yes, not multiple people. Just one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to holiday dinner because the food I'm eating isn't terrible. It keeps you alive. They have, it's the same thing every night. There's always a rice, potato dish. There's always a vegetable, which is good. They have carrots and French beans, right? Like as a veggie, as a side. There was barracuda one night. There was tilapia. There was some kingfish today. They all end up tasting the same. And then the desserts, they have some chocolate that went from really bad to not as bad. And last night they had chocolate balls. And no, they weren't salty. They were just chocolate balls. Chocolate balls were pretty good.
Chef's balls.
Yeah, chef's chocolate salty balls. Stick them in your mouth and suck them.
Suck 'em. So no Jared Hangry episodes, huh?
No, man, I haven't been hungry really. I'm eating properly, taking my malaria medicine, and I'm eating peanuts. I like nuts in my mouth.
You are your
those
father.
are good. Yeah. So no, the food's been all right. Plus, I have my protein in the morning. I just drink my protein and eat my scratch bar and call it a day.
Well, it sounds like you're having a good time. You have, another week and a half there? It's only been
I've got
3
way
days?
too long, Steven. I'm ready to go home right now.
I already made a bet with Dan. I'm like, I guarantee he's going to make it a week and come back.
There's no way in fuck I would ever make it a week and come back, Steven. I'm not changing my plans.
But you probably want to leave in a week.
I mean, I'd be happy to go home and get some pho.
There it
and
is.
To get some. It's all about food for me.
I know.
No, we're here. We got 6 days in the Mara. Is that where we're going next? We're going to what? We're going to Opajeta, Steven. You don't know Opajeta?
I got nothing.
How do you not know Opajeta?
It's crazy, right?
There's going to be animals and shit. We're going to Opajeta for a couple days, and then we've got like 6 days somewhere else, and then it's time to go home. But it's been fun. Like, it's been a fun thing going out and shooting. It's not like going to the zoo, except for the fact that there's a hell of a lot more elephants. You can get really pretty. I mean, you see elephants where we're at today. There's like a herd of like 50. There were probably 150 in one field of view at one point.
Wow.
There's a lot of elephants, and it's just cool to see the lions up close.
In their natural habitat, not stuck behind a cage in a zoo.
Yeah, and we saw there's a bunch of birds, so I took some pictures of some birds, and they're boring. Birds suck. We did see giraffes today, and that was nice. Other than that, it's been good. Everybody's cool. Our driver, by the way, he's part of a tribe. We went to a thing yesterday. What was it called yesterday? Masai Mara village. Just think of it as like they show you how they used to live, and they try to say that they still live that way. But then at the end they walk you
bullshit.
through bullshit. Bullshit. Then at the end they like walk you through this market where they want to sell you something. The 2 guys behind me, one bought something. The other's like, fuck you. I'm from the Northeast. I'm not buying shit. I didn't buy something. I'm like, no, I don't need a trinket. I did look at the machete though. And I'm like, but how am I going to get the machete home? And then, but the worst part is they're like, so you pick what you like, and then you go over to the side and you negotiate a price. I'm like, just tell me what the fuck the price is. Just give me your fucking price, dude.
Sounds like your people.
I'll take the goat. Can I take the fucking goat? I like that goat right there. That goat was cute. So I was like, no, thank you. Oh, I got to jump. You know how they jump? Crisscross makes you jump.
Oh, yeah.
I got to do the jump thing. I filmed. Oh, yeah. I've been filming with the Ace, the Insta360 Ace Pro. I put it on 120 frames a second for the guys jumping, and they were backlit. They were jumping into the sun.
Ooh, nice silhouette.
Well, yeah, it looked pretty good, Steven.
Are you using the 360 camera as well?
I did. I used the 360 camera to get some dung beetles rolling a ball of dung today. That was exciting. Dung beetles,
Yummy.
man. Dude, dung beetles are cool. They like roll shit across the street.
Did you ever see A Bug's Life?
I saw A Bug's Life once, I think.
Yeah, they got a couple dung beetles in there.
Yeah, dung beetles have been cool so far. But yeah, no, they tried to sell you stuff, and I could have done without the village.
Did you get to do any portraits of any people? Is it just strictly animals you've been shooting?
I refused to do portraits at the village because it was too fake for my taste. It would just look. Joey L goes into all different places and gets actual photos of real people living in villages. I'm not saying they're not real people.
Yeah, he goes deep.
Yeah, Joey L goes deep. But our driver, how many brothers and sisters do you think he has?
17.
No.
13.
He's one of 78.
Oh my God.
Yeah. His dad likes to fuck. One of 78. Yeah, but see, the thing here is, Steve,
They're not
what you
first
don't know
siblings,
is
right? They can't be.
No, they're not. You can have like 5 wives or more. No, they believe in that. So, hey guys, did they say legitimately yesterday that when a guy turns a certain age, he can get a teenager? Yeah, I did hear that. Correct, right? Yeah, I did. I was like, that's not right. You shouldn't be buying a teenager when you turn like 70.
You could purchase a teenager?
What am I to say? They practice polygamy, which is, like Dan or whatever Dan does. I don't know what Dan does. Everything. That's what Dan does. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. But yeah, one of 78 kids is pretty damn insane.
Does he know them all?
There's no way in hell the guy could name every kid. There's like,
I got little Johnny, Jimmy, Billy, Bobby. I'm sure the names are different there.
oh, is that a deep reference to Do You Like Apples?
Exactly.
Timmy, Tommy, Johnny, Jimmy, Jeffrey. But do you know what we've seen a lot of on this safari, Stephen?
What?
People using their cell phones to take pictures of animals at a distance. I just want to yell at them.
15x digital zoom. Got it.
You've come to a safari.
They're probably a tourist, I assume, right? Just they're not there to really.
Tourists are assholes, Stephen. You don't come to a safari with a cell phone and be like, guys, I saw a giraffe and it's this big, or they zoomed in and it looks like shit.
They might just be doing it for the experience, the firsthand experience, more than having to take pictures.
Sure, I get it.
You don't have to be a photographer to go on a safari.
Steven, I saw one girl. She was definitely one of those scene girls. She was up at the top of the standing thing doing selfies, and she kept moving her head all around as she was. And I was like, "You suck," And that's
was
about
like,
it. Emilio. So that's really all I have to say about them. Oh, I was talking about my Apple Watch before you interrupted me 35 minutes ago when we started.
I will say real quick, interrupting you now, the lag is pretty rough here. Like, we are talking over each other and it's a little tough, but hopefully
you should be able to line it up.
Yeah,
hopefully.
We'll see.
Episode 79, which I haven't mentioned yet. I haven't been able to give birthday wishes to most people. So if you had a birthday and you're on the text line, I've been busy here on a safari. But anyway, Apple Watch Ultra. The day before I left, I went on to the Apple store because my watch is broken from the time that I smashed the glass, and it still worked, but I got water in it. I might have been taking a bath with someone and I forgot to take my watch off. It's possible. And it wasn't in Africa. It was at home. And it wasn't Kitty. But so I got water in it and it turned off. So I'm like, you know what? The Ultra 2 just came out. I got them to deliver it within 2 hours from Apple, which is only $9.
Black Friday deal?
I didn't care. Steven, I just ordered the damn thing. I didn't care about what the discounts are. Do you know who I am?
Well, I'm just saying you ordered it the day before you left, which would have been Black Friday, right?
Yeah, it's possible, but I don't think there were deals on that one. Maybe you got like a $50 gift card. I have no idea. I just ordered it, and I really like it. The screen is much larger. It's flatter. It's nice. I can read it. It feels good on my wrist. It's nice. I really like it.
Good to know.
Yeah, no, I like my Apple Watch Ultra.
Well, you cracked your old one right away almost, right?
Yeah, I raised my hand when I was at the rock climbing gym and it hit the wall and it cracked. And I was like, and I called Apple. I'm like, what happened to your really strong glass that you all tout as being amazing? Like, well, did you get Apple Care? I was like, no.
I'm surprised you didn't get Apple Care. I feel like you always get Apple Care.
I got it this time for the Ultra. It's $99 for 2 years.
Yeah.
And then at that point, if I don't know, should be fine. I'm happy with it. Any other things? How's it going back home?
It's going good. We've got the Africa video coming out. Like I said, if you're watching this or listening to this, at this point, it should be out. We just put out your 1 hour video about the best of 2023 photos, which I found very interesting to watch.
Was it good or bad?
I just think you should pick like the top 50 to 100 and then critique each one and give actual like valuable information, because you're just literally next, good photo, next.
I thought about it, but then I was like, you know what? I want to show everybody's. And if I skipped them, I skipped them. I know you can give more valuable information doing it the other way, but I thought it was cooler to go through that. And there was only one dick pic in the whole thing.
Which we had to edit out. And then most of your feedback was more contrast, use Skittles, more contrast.
Dude, Skittles for the win, man. Skittles for the win.
Like you said, people do like to see their photo in your video. But at the same time, I do think it's more valuable for the viewer maybe next year that we do it a little differently. We pick the top 50, top 100, something like that.
It doesn't get any views anyway, so...
Well, it's hard to say because some of those videos you did like the best portraits has like over 500,000 views.
The watch time on it's like 17 minutes, so people are watching it.
Yeah.
It's good. Like I did it before I left. I thought about doing it where I edited it down, but then I was like, you know what? I want to go through all of them.
Back to what me and Dan are working on, the 7200 comparison, the Sigma versus Tamron 70 to 180 and Sony 70 to 200 G Master. That should also be out. I'm thinking this weekend, most likely. And then we have more user guides coming through next week. And we'll see about Fix, because Fix this week, super light news week, so we basically skipped it. If we do it next week, it will most likely be Dan in front of the camera.
Yeah, because Dan's really good at doing it.
Dan's the best. I mean, you know, his video got 100,000 views last time, remember?
Yeah.
He told us many times.
Yeah, he wrote it too. He wrote it. He
Best
wrote
script
it,
ever.
he?
Yeah, it's all him.
I wrote it. That reminds me, I got to make you a video from the Safari to use if we do a fix, if there is enough news.
And speaking of videos while you're out in Safari, is there anything you shot? Like, I know you said you shot like behind the scenes of that monopod low angle shot. Is there other stuff you got? And I know we're doing an Insta 360 Ace Pro product showcase at some point. Maybe a 24 to 105 2.8 Canon review will come out of this. Anything else you think? Any quick tips, valuable talking points that we can include in the video? Something like that?
Not really. No, I mean, by the end of this, I might have more to say.
Maybe even just a recap of the trip and your favorite photos. I think that's always really interesting.
I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm absolutely going to do when I'm back from Africa, we'll do here's the photos I got, here's what I did right, here's what I didn't like, here's what I packed that I didn't need.
And a guide on how to photograph animals in Africa, or just, you know, I think that's just really interesting on like what to bring, what you should be prepared for, what you learned, tips and tricks, whatever it may be.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, before we wrap this up, I did want to talk about, I'm trying to figure out, and I'd like to get your input on this, my Christmas photo this year on how to take it. Because now I have a newborn that just turned 3 months old, actually today.
Dress her like Jesus. Dress her like Jesus. And get a lamb. And you dress up with a staff, and your wife wears something else, and your dog wears... Chip's going to be Judas. Put a knife in his mouth.
But, it was already hard enough with throwing a dog into the mix and triggering the camera myself and doing everything myself each year. Now it's like I have the newborn, and
do you?
I'm going to have to hold her and then hold Chip at the same time. How am I going to... And like I usually do a backdrop of some sort and make a little mini set. Now that's kind of like a toy room / her room. So I'm running out of room and space to shoot. I might just do here's a generic shot in front of the tree type shot, like a Christmas card I did a few years ago. But I'm just debating, and I don't know what gear too. I'm like, do I just stick with the R5 like I normally do? Maybe the 85-1.2, maybe the 135-1.8. Now that we have that this year,
whatever you got, you got the whole studio at your disposal. Every piece of gear in there. Have you been into the studio yet?
I haven't been there this week. No. And then I would love to take it outside too, but it's just freezing cold. Like today, right now, it's like 25 degrees. It's really cold this week. Yeah. And crazy wind gusts. That's my next move this week at some point after work, trying to get a family photo. It's just going to be a lot more difficult this year. I might have to actually have someone behind the camera this time
Why don't you
around.
call Twinkle Toes? Why don't you call Twinkle Toes to help you?
Twinkle Toes, yeah. Tiny Toes. She does do
Tiny
little holiday
Toes.
minis. We are getting a holiday mini by her with just Hannah, but there's not like a family photo. We're not doing that. I'm just
Do
doing
you get
that
a
myself.
discount? You get a discount for returning?
I don't think so, but it's not expensive. It's like $50 or $100, and it's just going to be essentially an assembly line. Next couple photos, next couple photos. A bunch of people lined up because we have a time slot.
I got an idea. I will dress up as Hanukkah Harry, and Hannah can sit on my lap, and then you can take the photo with Hanukkah Harry in it.
Perfect.
Manny the
Shot.
Menorah. I'm not going to say it. I don't want to say that he's been released from captivity, but Manny the Menorah will be hanging on the window when I get back. It's going to be the first night of Hanukkah when I get back. So, hey guys, I'm okay. Manny the Menorah here. I'm ready to be up on the window again. And my good friend Dickie is here too. That's right, Dickie the Dreidel. I'm going to spin that Jewy dreidel all day. And hey guys, don't forget the new friend. Who's the new friend? Where are you? I'm right here. It's Steve. Steve drives a truck.
He's got some friends right now this year.
Yeah, he got Dickie the Dreidel and Steve.
I thought there was like 4 more that you got.
Yeah, I haven't named those yet.
Okay.
I don't know what their pronouns are. I need to ask what their pronouns are.
Moishi?
There's another. There's a different type of dreidel, so I'm not sure what type of dreidel it is. Hi guys, how are you? My name is
Pat.
Oh shit, Pat. No, that's not a good name.
I'm thinking the SNL skit
No, that's Pat. No, this.
where they didn't know what he or she was.
It's
Pat.
Sorry, excuse me. I'm a dreidel, and my name is Bobby Long, and I go by they. Bobby Long. Have you? That movie's so good. Zach and Miri make a porno. You look kind of familiar. You're not my demographic. What type of movies have you been in? Like Glengarry, Glenn Ross? More like Glengarry puts Glenn's hairy, salty nuts in his mouth. Such a good movie. Such a good
Justin
movie.
Long is so good.
Merry Christmas, Steven, from Hanukkah Harry and Dickie the Dreidel and Steve and me. Hey guys, can you please text in names for the gender fluid menorah that we just picked up? We need names for gender fluid menorah. Beth? Wait, is it a female? Is it a they, them?
It's got to be like Jamie. It can go either way.
Jamie?
Yeah.
Do they have underarm hair? Do they wear patchouli oil? Sorry, that's Dan. That's Dan.
Yeah.
Patchouli oil. Yeah. All right. I need to go. It's Africa.
All right. Well, I'm glad we can sneak in a raw talk while you're gone.
Yeah, we'll try to
probably
do one next
more,
week.
right? Yeah.
Well, I don't know. We're supposed to go to some tented places. We're going to be in tents.
Okay.
We're going to be in tents. And we'll see how that goes. And if I have internets wherever we're going.
It's definitely laggy for sure. And again, like this week might be we might be talking over each other. It's not that big of a deal. The fact that we're doing it, how many miles away is pretty incredible. And it's almost latency free, which is great.
Yeah.
Might be a little rough this week. Hopefully next week we'll have a little better internet.
Yeah. And then I'll be back. And hopefully I don't get eaten by a lion because I hear they're going to get up close and personal next time.
Well, don't worry, Jared. I have the master password and everything for your will, so I think we're good.
I've told you where the will is. Yes.
Yeah.
The first day we went out, we got some great stuff right off the rip, and the lion guy was walking right at me. He had some great balls. His balls were perfectly round. You could just see them, and he was just jiggling them as he walked away.
Are we talking like bowling ball size? Are we talking like billiard balls?
Bigger than lychee nuts. Slightly smaller than billiard balls.
Okay.
Slightly smaller. I would put them at the size of a racquetball. And they weren't blue, but
Nice
they were
size.
racquetball size.
We don't like blue balls.
Well, we started the show talking about elephant dung. We might as well end the show talking about...
It's called bookending, man.
We're bookending it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys can text us some stuff. I don't know what. And we'll try to do another show next week. Obviously, it's an abridged version. It is what it is. Hopefully you enjoy it. And that's what I got to say, Steven. You want to leave with anything?
No, I think we're good. Let's wrap it up.
All right. I really do hope we get to see an elephant having sex, though.
Me too.
I was so hoping. We finally got to heard one trumpet today. One trumpeted.
Are you going to take video of this sexual act, or are you going to take photos?
Steven, I took video of a big tusker peeing and taking a dump at the same time.
Great footage.
I had to take video.
Stock
I had to
footage.
take video. Slow-mo.
Are we going to sell
slow-mo. Well, yeah,
Even
you know people are searching African elephants peeing and pooping. That's like a thing on the internet. It's got to be.
Adobe stock.
And
here we come.
Two elephants, 1 cup. That's all I got to say.
Oh, man.
2 elephants, 1 dung beetle.
On that
Insane.
note.
All right, I'm gonna pack it in, and I'm gonna get out of here to go do dinner. All right, guys, thank you very much for listening. This is 79 RAWtalk from Africa. Steven, that's the title. Jared, live from Africa. Not really live. That's funny. That's a good title. That's what I'm talking about.
Great title. Best title ever.
What the fuck is that smell? What? Is something on fire in here?
Someone just rip one?
I got the black lung, man. No, I smell smoke. Oh, you know what? It's smoke blowing in from the fucking chicken wire that we have as a window up there that lets in the Zika virus. Fuck.
Well, like, I got a copy of the will. I think we're good.
I have my malaria pills and I have my yellow fever thing, and that's it. I got to wrap this up, Steven. I'm going. All right. Bye. Thank you, guys. Jared, PolinFronosphoto.com. Bye. See ya.
See ya.
Goodbye.